Hey guys, Carlos here with Buckaroo Gear. I thought I'd do a quick little tutorial on how I build a removable bosal hanger. So what we have here are two pieces of 5 6-ounce latigo, and these are cut in the straps, 1/2-inch straps. The driver's side strap's about 28 inches. Passenger side strap is about 43.5 inches. So the first thing I'm going to do with these is I'm going to edge them. And I've got this little jig that I built years ago. This is just the number 2 edger by Ron's Tool. I'm going to edge the top and bottom. I got my head knife here. I'm going to go ahead and cut a point on one end of each strap. In addition to those straps, you're going to need a couple of straps. Let's see, we'll cut them about, I don't know, about 8 inches. And these are the little pieces that you're going to use to weave back and forth, make the blood knot out of. Almost forgot about these. Of course, you're going to want to edge them. And cut a tip on each one of those. Then you're going to take some saddle butter. This makes things just pull through a lot smoother and kind of conditions that leather anyway. You don't want to put too much on, but you do want to get it kind of covered. You're going to pull it through a little can on both sides. And if you don't have saddle butter, Skidmore's will work, or any kind of saddle dressing will work. You can kind of see where it's a little bit dry there, so I'm going to go ahead and pull that through again. It doesn't have to be saturated, it just has to be enough to make it kind of slick and easy for you to pull it through when you're bleeding the leather back on itself. Okay, so I have those nice and dressed up. Use a paper towel to wipe the excess off my hands. And then we're going to take one end and we're going to fold it back on itself, and we're going to make a rolled button knot. And then I take a number 8 hole punch. And this hole punch is dull. It needs to be replaced. It takes a whole bunch of hand strength. You can see I can't quite get it through. You're going to take the tip, run it through, and you're going to do that on both the driver and the passenger side. Then to pull this through all the way, what I have is I have a piece of 3/8 plate, 3/8 thick plate with a 3/8 hole in it. And I just stick it through that hole on there, use my pliers, and pull it all the way through. Snug it up a little bit, and then you have a nice little rolled button knot there. Now we're going to start bleeding our leather back on itself, and I have a mark here on my bench where I start that, and I just mark that with my thumb, and I'll get you a measurement. So that is about 5 inches back from the rolled button knot there. Here's a little trick with a dull punch. Put a piece of leather underneath it to help you get it through. The anvil on this thing is wore out. I don't think well, yeah, that needs to be replaced too. The barrel and the anvil both need to be replaced. So we're going to take our short strips, and we're just going to bleed this leather back on itself. This is where dressing up this leather with that saddle butter sure makes it easy to bleed the leather back on itself. And this takes quite a bit of hand strength. If you don't have the hand strength, and like right here, this is a little slippery for me to grab a hold of to get this first one started, so I'm just going to use my other set of needle nose pliers to pull it through so I have something to grab. So then it's just rinse and repeat. You're going to bleed this thing back on itself. Several times. As many times as you want, really. Or as many times as that little strap will allow. So we'll go ahead and speed this up, and then I'll show you how I finish this off. Okay, so that's probably been bled back enough. So now, you always want to bleed it back to where the long strap itself is on the outside. You finish it out on the outside. So then we'll go over to our driver side strap, and we're just going to rinse and repeat. Got to do the same thing and match the amount of blood knots we have on the driver's side so it's balanced. Okay, we got both pieces bled through. Our blood knots are even. So what we're going to do is take that short strap, the beginning and the end of it, and we're just going to trim the beginning or the start and the stop of that short strap. Just trim the excess off, so then you should have that nice and neat. Then we're going to go over to our stamping bench, where I got my stamping rock. I'm going to turn this over, smooth side down. Take my little hammer, and I'm just going to tap these blood knots flat. So it looks real nice and even and flat. Do it on both sides. And again, over here on my stamping rock, I've got my poly cutting board so I can use my punches. My half inch strap in punch. Punch my ends. Then I'm going to take my short side piece, which is the driver's side. Take a 5/8 slot punch, add my slot, then I'm going to go ahead and tie this. So this ties just like you would tie your halter, your rope halter. So that's tied. One last thing I do over here before I proceed is put my little maker's mark on there on the tail. And then one final step that makes this bosal hanger removable. Go over here to my old bench. You can see where I've cut hundreds of these. I need to cut a slot with my knife in here. And there you go. You take your roll button knots, fold them back into themselves, and you've got a removable bosal hanger. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and put it on a bosal real quick so you can see how this works. There's your blood knot, or your button knot at the end. That's the driver's side. There's your passenger side. And there's your bosal hanger. All finished and installed. You might need to adjust the length on this. If it's a little too long, you can always trim this strap down. Put your slot down here a little further where my thumb is. But anyway, I've been building these like this for years. Probably one of the very first leather projects I did as a kid. And I sell a lot of them. So, hope you guys enjoyed that. We'll see you on the next one.